it's almost like all four of us are really crucial to just making us sound, big and tight.
Like everyone knows I'm the backbone, and the second I'm gone, the band has to break up.
Yeah.
So.
I gotta tell that. I'd say home base for the Swellers is Jonathan and I's house. It's in Fenton, Michigan, which is a suburb of Flint, and that's where we practice. And it's about an hour from Ryan. It's about 4 hours from Anto. Anto lives in Toronto, in like in Canada. So our house is just kind of where we've always been. Even when these guys hadn't joined the band yet, we started this band 7 years ago, and it's always been at our house. And I'd say Flint, Michigan is kind of home base because that's where we got our start. That's where we played our first shows and everything.
Yeah, like we were part of the Flint scene, and back in the day, people would always be like, "You guys aren't actually from Flint," and we would always go, "But our first show was in Flint. We only play in Flint." Like we were a Flint band. So when we're talking to people, we say we're from Flint, Michigan, because it's like saying like you're from a suburb of Detroit no one's ever heard of. No one cares. So Flint is our home.
It's about UPS.
Yeah, we did an interview and someone's like, UPS and downsizing. We're like, yeah, it's about the
big
delivery industry. No, but kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. The Big Lebowski, there's one line in it that says strikes and gutters, ups and downs, and I love that line. And I always had, Nick and I split lyric writing, stuff like that, and I just have like notebooks and like tons of stuff on my computer that are all just little lines, and I just mess with them for a long time. So strikes and gutters, ups and downs, and I was like, I kind of want that like Michigan theme, like our own thing, because someone said that before in songs probably. So I did sit down strikes and gutters because Flint, Michigan's where the first sit down strike was, and then ups and downsizing because it's like it's the economy, all that stuff's going on.
Well, Ryan joined the band like about a year and a half ago now. Yeah. Anto joined right when we signed to Fuel by Ramen, like right away. We had to make a quick personnel change because it was like, hey, we're about to get really serious. You ready? And it was like, no, not really. Then we called up Anto. Good to go.
The next day.
Yeah. So this is the lineup for Ups and Downsizing, the new record, and I really hope you guys stay playing with me because I like you guys a lot. I really like you, and I enjoy your company, and I think you're great musicians. And but yeah, that was the thing with the Swellers. We've had quite a few different lineups and different members because over all the years of making baby steps, it gets to be too much for some people. Like either we're touring too much, or I'm too much of a jerk to them, or usually the first though. Like there's a girlfriend back home, so they don't want to go on tour anymore
and lie about it.
But everybody here hates their girlfriends and loves being on tour, so like it really works out.
It was kind of crazy. I always had this like memory of we were in Florida at a show and we were on tour with all these bands, and I was going for a walk with our old bass player, and we were actually talking about like, all of our friends in Michigan are getting signed, all these bands are getting signed. Like we've been doing this for years, like we thought the record before this, something was going to happen with it, and it didn't. And before that, we almost signed to a label called Nitro Records. So it's like all these things like almost happened and then fell through. So we're like, we don't know what's going to happen anymore. And then previous to that, like the last summer, we Nick and I recorded 4 songs and used the studio where we do all of our albums, and we just used those as demos, sent those out to a few labels. And after that walk with my friend, we came back to the venue. Nick goes, "We have an email from Fuel by Ramen," and we were like, "No!"
All happened in one day. Like I had the same conversation that he had with our old bass player with the dudes that we were on tour with. We were sitting at this nice little cafe that had a cool Descendants quote on the sign, so we went in and ate food, and we had that same conversation. And I went to the van, checked my email, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like finally, like it paid off. And yeah, I guess I would just say that they were the label that was there from the get-go for us. They were the first ones to really show interest, and they also stayed on us.
I never get up at 8 o'clock, and we drove, an hour and a half with traffic to get here, and our day's literally going from 9 till 1 in the morning all day. But it's doing all this awesome stuff that's helping out our band. Like I love the fact that the more work that comes in is all stuff that helps us so much more. So it's like any like brutal stuff we have to do. It's like for example, like if it was Warped Tour, it'd be like, oh, we have to get up at 6, but we're playing in front of all these people. We have the opportunity to do this, and that's always worth it to us,